Right.
We've watched this happen a lot in the media. We watched Richard Jewell get accused that he fit the profile of the lone bomber in the Atlanta park. It seems we never learn our lessons here in terms of a rush to judgment.
Right, and that's why we don't want to have a rush to judgment now. I mean, what a difference a decade makes, but does it? Let's make sure this time we don't repeat that same mistake with this particular suspect.
But you got to believe, based on what they're saying, if this individual would have had access to her, knew certain aspects of the case that were never made public, it seems pretty compelling, at least on the surface, early on, right?
Well, but it sure seemed compelling with the Ramseys early on, with that umbrella of suspicion, with no signs of forced entry, that ransom note having the amount of his bonus exactly as the ransom demanded, and even the Sharpie pen from the house in a secreted place where JonBenet was found that only the family would know about. So, and no footprints in the snow. So back then, those facts sure seemed to indicate some culpability, but in fact, it appears now that would not be the case. So again, with this particular suspect, maybe he wants 15 minutes of fame. Maybe he's a compulsive confessor.
That's the problem.
We don't know the circumstances.
Exactly what Ann said, which is we've got to kind of step back from this and see really what comes out, what the evidence is.
Lived, but only until JonBenet was 1 year old, then moved back there after JonBenet lost her life. Also moves to Thailand, is arrested on an unrelated sex charge. I wonder what that means. Do you have any suspicion?
Well, I do too. I mean, they've known about him for some months, and the connection with Georgia doesn't appear to be really linked to anything that happened in Colorado. And the fact is, unrelated sex charges doesn't make him a murderer of a young child in
Ramsey's had to suffer through for all these years. It's interesting why now, all of a sudden, I guess the confluence of events based on this other crime in Thailand that brings it to a head here.
Right, and he could have said something there, even though, and there's a probable cause warrant now, but he's still entitled to have the government show probable cause in Thailand. And also that there's a similar type of crime that can be charged in Thailand that mirrors one in the United States that's chargeable. So he may want to get that benefit of what the government has, but it's not a coincidence. Something happened with him in custody that would lead him to at least say something.
How easy is it to get him back to the United States? What has to happen, and is he likely to